Hello, everybody. Today I wanted to talk about a very simple trading system. And this is more of a day trading system, similar to scalping, but more like day trading. You're in these trades for about an hour, maybe two at the most. There are times, though, that you're actually catching the swing bottom or top of a move. And if you're watching momentum on like a 1 minute chart, you can stay in the trade for 3 or 4 hours. I've actually done that several times. It's a very powerful system. I've only had a handful of losers from this system, so they don't happen very often, but you definitely want to keep a stop on these trades, especially with the markets being the way they are lately. But actually lately it's been very accurate. What you need for this setup is you need 3 apps. You need the Currency Matrix dashboard, which I have on the left over here. You need the Scalping Matrix, which is on the right over here. And then you need the ATR Matrix, and you can keep that hidden. And I'll explain how that works in just a second. The only data sets you're going to use are the day trader and the PBT. So in theory, we could turn all these off if we wanted to. And just leave it. Oh, I've got this. There we go. And just leave it so all that you see is the PBT. If you're familiar with the PBT data, then you know that this system it's going to be very similar to that. In other words, we want the PBT data to be 9.9, negative 9.9, or positive 9.9 before we enter these trades. But what we're going to do is we're going to add one more filter to that trade. Over in the day trader column, which is the far left where it says day trader, you want the one side of the currency pair to be pegged at either 9.9 plus or minus. And it won't, it'll be obvious which way it needs to be when the trade's live. The only sort of condition, and I'll put this in the description of the video below so you can copy and paste all this information that I'm talking about, but the only sort of condition that you want to watch out for is, for example, we would not want to try to scalp the Kiwi Aussie, the Aussie Kiwi, depending on your broker you're using, which way you trade that pair. You don't want both sides of a currency pair to be overextended on the day trader. Those tend to keep running, and it's harder to find. You just want one side or the other. And so one example of that is if you look at the euro dollar right now, the euro is pushing pretty heavy, and the euro is getting down there. It's getting close, right? It's got a ways to go, but it's getting there. Also, you've got the euro pound. Euro pound could be a good scalp, it looks like. And the euro Swiss could be a good scalp, maybe. Euro yen, probably not so much. It's not quite there yet, so that one probably wouldn't happen. But by the time that the PBT data on these pairs gets close, you'll see this euro will be down here probably between 8 and 9. Usually, the currency matrix is the last one to confirm the trade, meaning you'll see the PBT value enter 9.9 and sit there for a minute, and you'll wait for the day trader to go ahead and go down to negative 9.9, and then you would buy that currency pair. Let's see what that looks like on an actual chart. We're going to use the Aussie dollar because the last 2 days it has given quite a few signals, so we've got a lot of examples to look at. But you can do this for any pair. And all I've done is I've opened up an Aussie dollar chart. I've gone up here to events, and I've selected the PBT data and the day trader data. And I turned off the, when you default load the chart, you get the buy and sell signals from our matrix trade. So you can turn those off right up here at the top. So I've just got these 2 data sets. And sometimes to be able to see the trade, or to be able to see some of the data sets on the top or the bottom, because sometimes your charts will look about like this because it's just framing the price action right on your chart. You have to kind of squish it down so you can see them. But if we go and we just click these bubbles, we can see, okay, that's just the PBT data. All right, here's PBT and the day trader. So if we look at this one, right, and it confirmed right here at the bottom of this candle. And then it went down another, let's see. So if we close this, so we can see what we're doing. So it confirmed right about here. I took this trade. So it confirmed about 72.57. It went all the way down to 45. So we're within our stop. And I'll explain what that is in just a second. And it went all the way from 72.57, and it got all the way up to over 20 pips, so 78-ish. And what you want to do with these trades, let's go back to the trader's desktop for just a second. When you enter these trades, remember you're waiting for, more often than not, you're waiting for the currency matrix to verify the trade. Sometimes, though, you'll see the currency matrix is pegged out and you're waiting for the PBT value to get down there. So basically, to be very clear, you want both to be at 9.9 at the exact same time. And this euro could be way up here, right? And then maybe the dollar would be down or something, right? And it can be either side of the currency pair. It doesn't have to be just the euro if it's a euro dollar. It can be, so in this case, we would just want, if we were only trading the euro dollar, we're looking at the euro or the dollar data over here on the matrix. And I'm going to try to grab some screenshots and paste them in the forum with this video, but I trade these trades, so it's really hard to catch the trades and remember to grab a screenshot at the same time. I'm trying to learn, but and these trades take a little bit of patience, because you can see this trade fired off right here, and then I think there's one up here somewhere. Yeah, so here's another trade that fired off right at the top. And these are these swing high, swing lows that I'm talking about. So this one fired off like almost at the top. It was like at 72.88, I think, if I remember right. And it only got up to 89, I think. So 72.88, and it went all the way down on the short term. You probably would have gotten out of the trade right here. It went all the way down to 62, so over 20 pips again, right? So I consider these, that's why I consider these day trades. They're not quick scalps anymore. They're actual day trades. I don't think this was just PBT value. Yeah, there was one in here somewhere. I think it was right here. Here it is. Okay, so this one right near the top of this wick right here. And you can see sometimes they're not quite pointing at the wick because there's a bubble right next to it. It's just a size thing. The more, if we zoom out a little bit, they line up. Say they start to line up better. Just the way that the chart has to put those little bubbles over everything. But this one gave our signal about, it was about, if I remember right, it was like 72.51-ish, and it went all the way down. The next candle went all the way down to 72.30. So again, 20 pips, right? So you're kind of getting the idea. I think this was one as well. Yeah, it was. So this was definitely sort of a swing low. I mean, it went on. This is one of those ones that you could have held for hours if you knew how to kind of follow price action. Kind of, I'll make a video on that as well later, but for now, just go for your short targets, and I'll explain all the metrics for these trades in just a second. I believe this was one. Yeah, this was one as well. So this one you would have been double-sided. But to sort of give you sort of an idea of the patience that it takes for these trades. Now remember, this is just one currency pair, but so you're going to get trades on multiple currency pairs sometimes at the same time, unfortunately, and those are even trickier to catch unless your broker's trading platform is easy. I'm using Forex.com right now, their web platform, and it is not conducive to grabbing two quick trades at the same time, unfortunately. But if you have MT4 or something like that, you should be able to jump in and out of trades pretty quick. But here was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trades, but that was over let's see, this one was 11, so 9:30, so about 24 hours. So you got 5 trades in 24 hours. Not a lot, right? So it takes a little bit of patience. But remember, you're going to get this is just one currency pair. So if I had to guess, in a 24-hour period, you probably, on average, not all the time, remember, on average, you're probably going to get about 20 trades. And that's if you're watching the market all 24 hours, right? You're probably not going to be watching the market for 24 hours straight. So if you're trading for about 12 hours, I think most traders probably spend about 12 hours, if they're honest, a day in the market. You can expect about 8 to 10 trades on an average day. Some days going to be a lot more than that. Some days you might only get 4 if it's really slow. I've actually gone a whole day without a trade before. So it just takes a lot of patience. When you take these trades, when you buy or sell and you enter these trades, this is where the ATR matrix comes in handy. So your target is your 60-minute ATR. So for the Aussie dollar, it would be just round to the nearest single. So for this would be 19 pips, right? Because we're below 19.5. So it'd be 19 pips would be our target, and our stop is the one right behind it, the 30. So our stop would be 12 pips. So we've got about a 10-ish pip stop on most of the currency pairs if you do the average, unless you get down to the pound Aussie. That gets a little crazy, but you can scalp that pair. You just got to just make sure to use a pip calculator so that you're keeping your risk flat, right? So you want to be no more than 2 or 3% per trade if you're scalping. So you got to adjust your lot size based on your stop, right? And then your target for the Aussie dollar would be about 20 pips. And I showed you on all those examples that it definitely works out to 20 pips. Please give this a try. Let me know if it's confusing at all. If you have any questions, post them on the forum. I'd be happy to answer them there. I'll post this video on the forum as well as send it out through the platform. I'm going to record a bunch more of these videos. Hopefully you guys find these helpful. I'm using the the formulas, setups, whatever you want to call it, that I use to find trades, which is why I'm so familiar with these. So that is this system in a nutshell. Expect about 3 more videos over the next week, hopefully, and I'll just keep them coming. If you guys have something that you would like covered, a particular app, let me know on the forum when I post these. Thanks.